Hi, it's June 21st, 2025. GamblersAdvisory.com, a free site. BettingAngle.us, a free site. Remember, particularly for videos like this, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Folks, we take chances here. Right? My goal is to figure out the lay of the land. So as soon as I hear about a twist or a turn, some upcoming fight is announced, I already know in my mind I like that matchup. The lesser known fighter is actually the better fighter. Or the well known fighter is actually underrated and deserves better odds than they're giving him, right? I want an edge on the public. I want an edge on the casino, right? So let's look at lightweight here. Just understand, I know I've gotten a lot of grief. I still believe it, by the way, in who the heir apparent is in the heavyweight division. I believe it's Filip Ergovic, right? I know Daniel Dubois beat him. Okay, fair enough. I congratulate Dubois. No sour grapes, right? My guy had a shot. My guy did not deliver, right? Doesn't mean my guy has any less talent. I love the fact that Abel Sanchez is in Filip Ergovic's corner. I'm just waiting for the next opportunity, right? Filip Ergovic against one of these big names. I believe the heavyweight division over the next 2 years is going to change a lot. I think Ergovic is in the mix, right? Everyone has the fighter they like in the heavyweight division. My pick for the heir apparent remains Filip Ergovic. Well, who is the heir apparent at 135? Right? Who's the guy who, if the bullets start flying and everyone starts fighting each other, who's the guy who I believe is gonna be left standing? Who has the best chance? Now understand, boxing's rock, paper, scissors. Right? This is a sport where Iran Barkley beat Thomas the Hitman Hearns twice. Right? Where Vernon Forrest beat Shane Mosley twice. There's always that guy out there who you have a hard time with. Right? We understand that. You know, sometimes you can be perhaps the best in a division, but this isn't track and field. We don't go by some objective stopwatch. I can't look and say, hey, this man is, at 9.6 in the 100. He had the fastest time. No, you're dealing with an opponent's style, right? And it's possible that you could beat three of the top guys in a division, but that fourth guy, who might not even have the best record, gives you problems, right? Floyd Mayweather, and Mayweather's a great interview. Floyd Mayweather, and it's easy to be honest, of course, when you're unbeaten and you're a multimillionaire, right? When the sport has been good to you, it's easy to be, honest, right? But Mayweather talks about his toughest opponents, and one of them's a shocker. Emmanuel Augustus, the drunken master, right? For whatever reason, Mayweather had a problem with Augustus. Mayweather remembers Augustus. Well, let's look at lightweight. In the division of unbeaten Gervonta Davis. In the division of unbeaten Shakur Stevenson. In the division of unbeaten William Zepeda. In the division of unbeaten Ray Morataya. Who is the heir apparent? Right? Morataya is a young guy. right? You know, Shakur's about to fight Zepeda. Understand, the guys in the division want to know who's the future of the division, right? They're going for it. Now, I deliberately didn't put a name in the title because, of course, you know we take risks here. What I'm really doing is revealing my playbook, right? In other words, I know these names are great. Did I forget to mention Lamont Roach, who, in my opinion, beat Gervonta Davis, right? He's in the conversation. But from this seat, right, just understand, I'm not afraid to pick a guy who might not be the most popular guy, right? I'm not afraid to be in the casino, in the sports book, picking a guy who doesn't have a cheering section, right? So, what I want people to do is to look in my favorites folder right now. Recent fight. This guy who has a left hand, folks, he's two-handed. You wouldn't be able to tell it from these highlights. He has an excellent left jab, right? But these highlights highlight one of the tightest straight right hands I've ever seen, right? The guy is just pitch perfect with this straight right hand. And understand, the guy has legs. He's keeping the other guy moving. The other guy doesn't know when this straight right hand is coming. And it's like a shot out of a rifle. It's accurate, it's hard, it's sudden. He can lead with it. Now, what if I told you that this guy in the amateurs beat Keyshawn Davis 4 times? What if I told you that he won the Olympic gold medal at the 2020 Olympics? I want you to think about the best trainers in boxing, right? Because that helps. You see a guy, he's a talent, right? I want a trainer who knows how to shepherd that talent, right? As I mentioned, I love the fact that Abel Sanchez is the trainer for Filip Ergovic at heavyweight, right? I know Ergovic has the talent. Now I know, he has the trainer to lead him with that talent. Folks, would it shock you to know that this guy, again, the 2020 Olympic gold medalist, who beat Keyshawn Davis 4 times, has Jaron Ennis's trainer, not just Jaron Ennis's trainer, he has Stephen Fulton's trainer, Boozy Ennis. Folks, let me just say, the heir apparent at lightweight, in my opinion, is not Gervonta, it's not Shakur, it's not Zepeda, it's not Morataya. It's a guy named Andy Cruz, right? Please, take a look at this guy. Very decorated amateur, right? Let's just say now he's in the sport. He's flying the best place possible for gamblers. He's flying under radar, right? In other words, you want to have the playbook that people aren't even considering, right? You want to find a guy like Joker, who wasn't even a first round pick, who gee, if we need points, if we need threes, if we need boards, if we need assists from our center, this is the guy, right? Folks, talent-wise, in my opinion, there is nobody at 135 with more talent than Andy Cruz. He is my heir apparent at 135. What does that mean? That means that if he fights Gervonta Davis, I think Gervonta Davis would be in trouble. Right? Let's just say I would expect to get great odds for free. In other words, the public wouldn't know who the guy is. You know, you're placing the bet, whether it's on an app, whether it's in a sports book, and you would see a plus next to the Andy Cruz side. And let's just say they'd be giving him less than a 40% chance. So it would be at least a plus 150. Right? Don't get me wrong. Hardcore people know who this guy is because, again, he's the Olympic gold medalist. Right? But let me just say the skill set is so pinpoint. You know, this straight, sharp right hand would give southpaws like Gervonta and Shakur Stevenson problems. I mean serious problems. Right? It's straight, it's crisp. I don't know whether the guy can loop his shots like Filip Ergovic can. But I've seen the hand speed, I've seen the crispness, I've seen the jab, I've seen his left, I've seen his level of execution. Once he figures out that that straight right hand is landing against Mishiro, his last opponent, he knows exactly how to close the show. Right? He's not just throwing the right hand. He's not throwing it with reckless abandon. He's setting it up and then just dropping it in. So let's start a tradition here. Right? I can't name an heir apparent in every division, because in some divisions there isn't someone with a clear edge. I believe this guy, Andy Cruz, has a clear edge at lightweight, 135, right? He is my heir apparent in the weight class. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. Please just take a quick look in my favorites folder here on YouTube, right? Look at the highlights from his last fight against Mishiro. Just understand, this guy, decorated amateur Olympic gold medalist, Boozy Ennis in his corner. Folks, it's all lined up. All you need now is for there to be an announcement. And the way they would announce it would be, Gervonta Davis, who is scheduled to fight Lamont Roach. But let's say Davis deviates. They would say, Gervonta Davis is fighting Andy Cruz. Your next move. Understand, Andy's name would be the second name mentioned. Right? Many in the public would yawn. They would view this as, a Gervonta Davis layup. Right? Your next move would be, okay, let me get the best odds I can. Right? You'd consult your own personal list of sports books. And, then all you'd have to do is, take it, make the bet, understand. One of the options you would have to consider is Andy Cruz by stoppage. Imagine the odds you would get on that part of your hedge. Those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comment section of this YouTube video. Thanks for stopping by.